scheduled. Okay, welcome everybody to the August 20th, 2025 regularly scheduled meeting of the Monterey Peninsula Airport District. Please join me in silencing or turning off your cell phones if you haven't done it already. And let's call the meeting to order. It's nice to see a full house. So thanks everybody for showing up. Can we have roll call, please?
Director Amati,
Present.
Director Gagliotti, Director Pick,
Here.
Director Leffel,
Here.
and Chair Miller.
Here. Pledge of Allegiance. Director Pick, why don't you help us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Communications and announcements, anything from staff? Oh, excuse me, anything from the board?
No. I just had the one thing.
What
Director
thing is
Miller.
that?
So the company that I work for was recently acquired by Canon Design. Wanted to let all of you know, as Canon Design is an architecture firm and they do work in airports as well. So in case it comes up at a future board meeting, wanted you all to know that I'm now a Canon Design employee.
Okay. The only thing I have to add is we had another successful car week and staff did a great job of keeping everything under control. So thank you.
Here, here.
Anything from staff?
Nothing from staff.
Okay. Public comment. This is a time for members of the public to address the board for items that are not on our current agenda. We only ask that these items, if you wish to talk to us, that it have something that we have jurisdiction and control over. Does any member of the public wish to address the board at this time? Please come to the podium, state your name and where you live. The man in the blue shirt.
Good morning. My name is Howard Fossler. I live in New Monterey, and I wanted to stop by this morning to tell everybody that there was no noise in New Monterey that I'm aware of during any of Car Week, other than a few flybys by the military showing our strength to everyone down below. It was a very, very quiet, very well organized and run weekend from an airport point of view, air traffic point of view. In our neighborhood.
Oh,
Thank you.
that is amazing considering how busy we were.
Yeah.
Ron Cheshire, Monterey. Yes, yesterday was interesting, the flyover, but what the heck, I can almost hit them with the rock when they take off because I live right at the entrance there to Sylvan Road. But anyway, the item that I wish to speak on today is in regards to your agendas. A lot of public agencies include the material also that is included in the agenda. As all that you package up is basically an agenda with no accompanying material. It may not be required, but it's convenient if there's something in there of interest to myself or the public, to where you can see it and be able to educate yourself and comment on it a little bit more intelligently. So you may consider that in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other member of the public wishing to speak that's present? Any member of the public who's joining us remotely would like to speak? I see one hand raised. Please raise your hand.
I believe that's Mary.
Mary F., it looks like.
Yes,
Go
that's
ahead.
me. Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mary Fortune. I'm a seaside resident around Kimball and Noche Buena. And I don't know if this is appropriate to mention about the small planes doing laps, multiple laps overhead, our densely populated average. They can be up to 15 times or more laps overhead. Planes are turning in, approaching, going right over. Some days it's 26 to 32 times a day. And I have the list of names of the main planes that are doing this. I have documentation available. Once noise disturbances were filed, the situation escalated and the reported planes started doing multiple laps in sessions back to back. Several planes at one time concurrently and late at night. In fact, last night a plane between 9 and 10 went 6 laps overhead. I have documentation and screenshots. The danger of any small plane flying overhead was included in noise disturbances and reported to the airport administration. And even more disturbing and very upsetting was the recent tragedy in Pacific Grove after these incidents were reported. The pilots, the schools, air traffic controllers, whoever's in charge appears to not have any respect or regard for Seaside residents. There are thousands, as you know, if you live in this neighborhood and in this area, and there's only a few that are allowed to do this. Seaside residents have a right to a peaceful enjoyment of our property. I really thank you for your time, and I would love to volunteer to sit on a board to serve on any kind of volunteer situation to help resolve and be a voice. And I really think that all that you're doing, and Car Week was fun, aside from the one pilot that did about, I could count maybe 40 laps between Seaside and Monterey. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Any other member joining us remotely wishing to speak, please raise your hand.
Mr. Chair, I see no hands.
Okay. Consent agenda. These items are routine by nature and comes with a recommendation for approval by staff. Does any member of the board wish to pull a member item from the consent agenda? Okay, hearing none. Does any member of the public wish to pull an item from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
You have a first and second. Can we have a roll, call, please?
Director Amati,
Aye.
Director Gagliardi,
Aye.
Director Pick,
Yes.
Director Leffel,
Yes.
Chair Miller.
Yes. Okay, consent approved. We have no deferred items. Regular agenda items. Number G1, who's going to help us with that?
I'm happy to do that, Mr. Chair. This item is related to the second reading and adoption of ordinance 933, which would repeal ordinances 308, 309, and 310. You have received several letters from members of the public, and we're more than happy if you would like us to do this. We're more than happy to formally respond to those so we can, provide a response in the presentation that's well thought out and has, a legal basis behind it. There isn't an urgency to this matter, so we can, we certainly can take the time to provide a formal response to the challenges that were made in those letters. I would suggest if you want to do that, to go ahead and allow public comment now, so that we can also address any concerns that may be raised here in the public. But if it's the pleasure of the board, we'd be happy to continue this until, the next meeting.
So your recommendation is we, after we table this till next meeting?
That would be my recommendation is
Okay.
to allow us to respond formally.
If I may, I believe that since we have people here that we know would like to speak on the topic, that we allow all the public comment today and then close the public part of the hearing and then take it to a special meeting. But otherwise, it's not fair to everybody who showed up this morning. Some of them don't like getting up early anyway. So the fact that they came and they care, I think that we should go ahead and hear everything this morning. And then
Yeah.
we can close public comment on it and take it back to all of us.
Yeah, that sounds like what I would recommend also. Okay. So why don't we go ahead and open it up to public comment at this time? If you wish to address us, we'll start with the members of the audience. Please come to the podium, state your name and where you live.
I am Nancy Runyon. I live in New Monterey, but I also represent Monterey Fly Safe Coalition. Just want to make sure that you got our letter and that you all read it about item G1 and you know our objections to it. If you repeal these ordinances, you are giving up any power that you had. You do have power because these ordinances will be grandfathered in. And you are not doing your job to protect the citizens of the Monterey Peninsula if you do not keep these ordinances and try to modify them instead and make them work. I mean, we may not have had that accident several weeks ago after 10 o'clock at night if those ordinances were still in place. This is not an easy airport to come into. And you are flying with tailwinds and you have broken equipment that needs to be fixed. We also included our 2-page list of our concerns about the airport that should be addressed. These 3 ordinances were designed to protect the citizens and the safety from noise and health hazards. And we really need them addressed in a thorough way and not just try to hide them by repealing them and pretend they don't exist because you haven't done your job for the last few years because you didn't know that they existed. You kept telling us they did not exist, and they do. So please take the time to reconsider repealing these ordinances and work with the public to find a way to satisfy the public and let us feel safe again. We do not feel safe having planes. The reason that we didn't have any planes in New Monterey is that we had clear skies. We get the planes when it's dangerously stormy and foggy. And they're flying with tailwinds, and that's not right. That's not the proper direction to fly in. So please do your job, do the right thing, protect the citizens, and try to help us because we're worried now. That plane in Pacific Grove that crashed, it was heading back in. He was heading back in when he stalled. He was not an experienced pilot. He had a known track record of being a person who did laps and didn't care about people. We have members of our group that feel they were retaliated when they make complaints. They say I don't know how they retaliate them against them, but some people say they fly more often, they fly lower, they dive, they alter their course. So we have pilots out there that think they own the world. And, I'm sorry, we were here first. This is not a good place to have all these practice flights. And our air carriers should not have to miss their landings by coming in an inappropriate direction. So this needs to be fixed. Please do not repeal these ordinances. Instead, work with us. Keep your power. Keep the power that you had and do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Any member of the public wishing to address the board on this issue? Excuse me. Okay, how about any member of the public who's with us remotely? If you wish to address the board on this issue, please raise your hand. Remotely, virtually raise your hand.
Mr. Chair, I see no hands, but I do want to just give one brief statement from the motion that was made, or that I believe it was a motion that was made to take public comment now, table this, and then bring it back to just the board.
No, I did make a motion, but I was going to open it up for a motion in a second.
Okay, well, if that happens, then public comment will be limited to today. When the item is continued to a future meeting, there will not be public comment on it.
Okay. With that admonition, does anybody wish to address us on this? Like your last opportunity.
And Mr. Chair, I see no hands.
Okay. Okay, I will entertain a motion to table this if that's so the direction of the board.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion that we bring this back to a meeting, and I'd like to schedule a meeting while we're all here today for possibly next week so we can get it wrapped up. But I think it's important because we got information from Ms. Runyon and her group late yesterday afternoon, and I think there's a lot to read. And also, I would like to explore some of the other materials that have been referenced that none of us have seen. I know that people from the public have it. I also believe that we have a new executive director who was not involved with some of these earlier discussions among the staff and our attorneys. So I think we need to be fair. If we're going to make some decisions, we need to make sure that we have the time to review it all and deliberate over it with education. So
I would
Well-
second that motion.
Okay, so the motion, we will talk about a special meeting, separate from this, but the motion is just to table it to a future time when, staff can prepare, responses to, concerns that have been raised. We have taken our time. We've been very methodical and, pragmatic, through all of this. We're not rushing through this at all. So, why don't we have a roll call on tabling?
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Jonathan, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask about something that Council Huber had mentioned. You said that this would conclude public comment on this item, but does it have to? I mean, could we, in a special meeting, choose to open up public comment?
That's the will of the board, yes. You can do that if the board chooses to.
Is that something that we have to decide in this moment, or in that special meeting, could we choose to?
It should be mentioned now, because again, if you're going to continue it to a future meeting, you need people to know that now's the time to make public comments. And that's why I made that admonition. To
Thank
give
you.
everybody one last chance, so.
So to that point, and I think, Marianne, to your point about making sure that, we're not taking up other members of the public's time to discuss this item, I do think that if we're going to take the time to review additional material, that we should also allow folks the additional opportunity to make public comment on this item again, if we're going to set aside a special meeting just to discuss it. That would be my ask, is that we grant that, and I'd love to get some support from other members on the board on this item.
I think that's fine, because you're, as part of this motion, there's going to be a response, a formal response from the board or from the district, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, to all this. So, I mean, I think it makes sense that there could be comment to the comment, our comments back. So I would support that.
Thank you.
So, sounds like the original motion has been, there's a.
I will accept that modification, and we will allow the public to speak when we have the meeting. That if we're going to be studying it though, in the next week or two before we come forward, I would ask anybody that's got something to say it today.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's much easier when you're trying to understand where we're all at, if you have it in advance instead of having it at the last minute. That's just, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, we do want to come to some conclusion here. This is about the fourth time I think it's been before us.
Yep.
And Mr. Chair, there is one late hand that was just raised by Mr. Paul Fleischman.
Okay, now we got two hands. Okay. Mr. Fleshman, go ahead. You have 3 minutes. State your
Yes,
name
I
and where
emailed-
you live.
Paul Fleischman, I live in Monterey. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I emailed you something on G1, and so I thought it would have been read out loud, and that's why I hadn't raised my hand earlier. So it was rather late. Thanks for letting me read it here. It's brief. If ordinances 308, 309, and 310 have been made moot, the impulse behind them remains valid. Local residents want protection from excess airport noise. They wanted it in the 1970s. Just read the ordinance's opening paragraphs, and they want it still. You'd never know that from the board's zeal to jettison these ordinances. Sadly, you're being true to your mission statement, which includes no reference to your responsibility to the surrounding community other than its role as passengers. When locals aren't flying, they're something else. They're residents, with rights to relief from excessive noise, pollutants, and other harms. Amending your mission to operate the airport, quote, in a socially and fiscally responsible manner would be a step in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you. And we did receive your letter and we all have a copy of it up here. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
have another hand up.
It looks like Sarah Hunter.
Sarah,
morning.
Go
Good
ahead.
morning. Hi. It's formerly Miss Samsung. I figured out how to change it. Sorry, I was late joining the meeting, so I didn't know what topic we were on. The only comments that I have are with the changes that were passed last month. I am now forced to turn on the Monterey FAA tower the minute one of Aerodynamic Aviation airplanes starts their touch and goes, so that when I file a noise report, I have to say it's not two student pilots, it's one, because it's the same voice asking to come through again. That's number one. And Nancy talked about the dive bombing. And if you look at the map that's on the airport website, planes are supposed to take off, go out to the ocean before they turn right. And many of the Cessna training craft take off and immediately fly directly right over all of Kona, Delray Oaks, and Seaside. So they're not following the rules there. And it was so peaceful during Car Week because guess what? All of Aerodynamic Aviation, Monterey Jet Center kicked them out. And they all went to Reed Hill and Salinas and Watsonville and Hollister for 10 days. So we know they can do their training somewhere else besides Monterey. Apparently, they just prefer to do it in Monterey, knowing that several times a month the airport staff says to them, you're bothering people, you're bothering people, you're bothering people. I just want to say thank you, Jonathan, and the other two members who have agreed to give us comment again once this follows. And Mr. Gagliotti, I'd appreciate it if you too, when you fly your plane, please go straight out over the ocean before you turn right. All of you, thank you for your good work. I'm done.
Thank you. Any other member of the public remotely wishing to address us, please raise your hand.
And Mr. Chair, I see no further hands.
Okay. So we have a motion, we had a second, we had a modification, which was seconded and approved by the original person. So Mr. Pick, are you willing to modify your second?
Absolutely.
Okay. Can we have a roll call, please?
Director Amati,
Aye.
Director Gagliardi,
Aye.
Director Pick,
Yes.
Director Leffel,
Yes.
and Chair Miller.
Yes. Okay. We will address this at a future time. But we'll wait to, why don't we go ahead and see if we can pick a special meeting?
I was gonna
First, is that the
suggest that.
desire of the board? Do we want to do a special meeting or wait till next month?
I think we should try to get it done next week and get it put to bed.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to
I'm
that.
here.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Mr. Pick and Mr.
My-
Amati, would.
My only question is for staff as to whether or not that gives them enough time to review what we had received and to be able to prepare a response for all of us.
Forgive me, tell me the date again.
We don't have a
don't have a
date, but the question was as to whether or not next week is too soon.
For you.
I'm not sure.
Next week, might be a little bit tight. But if I'm able to appear by, remotely by Zoom or by Teams, then Wednesday would work, Thursday would work. And Chris has Wednesday available. We can certainly get, that's enough time to prepare a response. The question is, whether I can be here in person. On Wednesday, I simply can't. I've got a board meeting in Southern California that day. Now, I can appear by Teams or by Zoom, or, I can set something up if that's pleasure of the board.
What about Thursday or Friday?
Work for me.
Could you call in?
Not I travel on Thursday,
So Friday?
so Friday, either I'll be on the East Coast by.
Here's my fear. Once September starts, everybody starts back into schedules, and we're lucky because Jonathan is not traveling next week, he just said, so we know he's here. Dino, are you here next week?
I am here next week.
John?
Same.
So,
I'm here, but we do have
We
a
do have-
CSBA.
Yeah, we have the
we have a
conference.
conference. We'd have
Yeah.
to leave it for a couple hours, but not on Friday.
We're free anytime after 11 on Friday.
Oh, I'm the opposite.
Yeah, I'm the opposite too.
I have.
So let me ask this for the purpose, is anyone not here for the next scheduled meeting?
That would be the 17th.
Correct.
I mean, I'm here.
I don't know yet.
It's in my,
Yeah, I'm
Here.
I'm here.
Same.
Only thing I have on Friday is a doctor's appointment at 11:20, so work best for me if it was after 1 o'clock or early in the morning.
I could do early.
I could do early in the morning. Friday, the 20, what is that?
29th.
29th.
Yeah.
Early in the morning work for you,
Um,
Jonathan?
I could do 8:30.
Yeah.
Okay,
That works.
Yep.
yeah, that works for me.
That works.
Chris, you'll be traveling or,
I'll make it work, but we also don't have Denise here next week either. So
okay,
we will have to pivot from our staff level and have somebody available to run the meeting.
okay. Well, we apologize and we thank the staff for your flexibility in making this work.
And I think this is more fair to the public that they get as much notice as possible of when we're going to do it.
Yeah.
so.
Good.
So we will table this until August 29th at 8:30 for a special meeting. Okay. I guess that's all we need to do on that. Let's go to item number 2. Chris?
Yes, thank you.
And thanks everybody who appeared for this item. We hope to get this resolved next week. Thank you.
Okay, resolution 1911, a resolution accepting the GMP, the guaranteed maximum price from Hensel Phelps Construction for the safety enhancement taxiway A relocation, phase D replacement terminal. So you have in front of you the second guaranteed maximum price from Hensel Phelps for your consideration. This is for the, as you can see in your components, for the steel decking, electrical and communications, HVAC, baggage handling system, exterior metal wall paneling, fire suppression and glazing. So that's what's included in the GMP in front of you. The Hensel Phelps did the procurement as our construction managers, as constructors. They did a pre-bid and a pre-qualification for all of the contractors. They did a scoping meeting with them to explain the full scope of the plans and specs that they would have had access to. And I would note that there are, this is a federally procured project. There's qualified training requirements, prevailing wage, and because it's a CMAQ, it's also a skilled workforce requirement, are all included in the procurement that was done for this component. Based on the bids that were received, because the instruction to bidders was that it would be the lowest responsible bidder, which is how we do our procurement as well from federal requirements, that it would be awarded to them. And that is what you have in front of you. The GMP, as I said, includes those components, and it's for a not to exceed cost of $40,162,197. I would bring to your attention the total at the moment under the schedule of values under the cost model is now down to $101,703,024. This procurement came in approximately $1.7 million lower than their cost model estimate that they had provided us the last time. So with that, we would entertain any questions that you would have as it relates to GMP number 2.
Well, that was great news. Why don't we go ahead and open it up to members of the public who wish to comment on this item? You'll have 3 minutes to do so. Raise your hand if you're with us in the audience, if you want to talk. Okay, please stand up to the podium. Tell us your name and where you live.
Good morning. I'm Daniel Alvarez. I'm an organizer here on Local 646.
I'm sorry?
I'm an organizer on the Local 646.
Okay.
On Marina. We're here to support this project. We're here to support Hanson Phelps as a responsible contractor. He supports apprenticeship, he supports healthcare and other benefits, and also retirement. That's pretty much it. I mean, you guys make a great decision, and we're looking forward. I mean, Hanson Helps is gonna create a lot of work opportunities for our members, and they're gonna work here locally instead of driving all the way to the Bay, which I have done that a lot. Sometimes I'm driving 2.5 hours, taking time from my family, and that will create a lot of work opportunities here and with the local force. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jose Munoz. I'm newly elected business manager for the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Sadly, this contractor that took this work on is an out-of-town contractor. It is requirement to have skilled and trained workforce. Rest assured that the IBW locally will be keeping an eye on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, Board of Directors. My name is Tony Ezel. I'm a business agent for Monterey County, Local 646, Carpenter. First of all, thank you for making the decision to award Hansel Phelps the bid for the job. Hansel Phelps is a union carpenter, union signatory called general contractor, I should say. Although they are from out of town, they will hire local. I was fortunate about 10 years ago to work on the airport with Granite Rock, who is also a signatory contractor. And what that means is that they not only pay health care to myself, but to my family as well. They support apprentices, which I was an apprentice back in 2014, apprenticeship program, which afforded me the opportunity to have a lifestyle, a livable wage, healthcare for me and my family, and to be able to go to school for free. So that's what Hansel Phelps do for the community. I am a resident of Monterey County for the past 25 years. My daughter grew up here. She then went to, because of a signatory contract, she was able to go to UC Davis, graduate, and now she's out at Emory University, got a master's degree, and now she's going to go forward and get a doctorate degree. In addition to that, she is, at this present moment in time, she can still afford to use my health care. which the general secretary contractor afford us to do. And Hansel Phelps is their general secretary contractor. They will pay a livable wage with workers, not just here, but no matter where they do a project in California and throughout the United States. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I had no idea.
Morning, Mark Gonzalez. I'm a retired cement mason, had 36 years in the trade, poured a lot of concrete in this county. And Hansel Phelps is a good contractor. They've got a good track record. You know, you're looking at construction schedules are very important because when you miss one, it costs a lot of money. So to have a quality contractor that's competent with a lot of experience will give you guys very, very minimal headaches. Some of you that are in construction understand that language. And originally I was coming in here just to comment on the RV program, but I'll talk to Mary afterwards and comment, but I just wanted to let you guys know. But yeah, a good contractor, and I encourage you to move forward with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just say, good to see you, Mark. I haven't seen you.
Okay, any member who is joining us remotely, if you wish to speak, please raise your virtual hand.
And Mr. Chair, I see no hands.
Okay, I'll go ahead and close public comment. Let's open it.
You got a
to-
late hand.
Okay, we got a hand, last minute hand. I'm having a hard time reading, so your eyesight better? We have a hand.
Yeah, it's Sarah Hunter.
Okay, Sarah, please.
Hey, board members, I have a compliment as a former union chapter president, and to all those guys who showed up to say good job. I say good job. That's all.
Thank you. Okay, I'll close out public comment at this time. Board comment and discussion. We'll start down with Director Pick.
Thank you, Chair. First, I want to thank the public that came today and commented. I was in favor of the motion before I heard your comments. I'm even more pleased to support the motion, understanding your comments and the impact it's going to make on the local community in greater detail than I knew before. Thank you. To the staff, I think it's great news that we get all the local impact that's quality whilst being frugal with the airport district's funds. So bravo. I have no further questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Director Gagliani.
I echo everything that Director Pick just said, and it's nice to hear some of the follow-on impacts directly that these decisions make. We don't often get to hear that, so I was very appreciative of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Leffel.
I too, I want to thank all of you for coming today. I don't know if you all know, but we're a military family that when they retired, they all went into construction. So it's kind of my heart. I love it. I love to see things built. And I think we're really proud of how much work we're providing in the community for people that commute to the Bay Area for higher paying jobs is brutal. I've got granddaughters up there and I drive up and I come back on Friday nights and I want to go, I don't know how people do it every day. And so anyway, we're very happy. I think that we can provide a new, beautiful terminal that will serve our passengers and our community. But while we're doing that we're providing livable wage jobs here in the community. And we realize how important that is. We do understand how important it is. We live here too, and we all struggle with the same thing. So anyway, thank you for speaking out. And I want to give big kudos to the staff. They're on a tight timeline with Hansel Phelps to get all of this done in these phases so that we can compete with the next round of federal grants. September 30th is the fiscal year end close for the federal government. So some of this was very, very necessary to get done. And I was very pleased to see how many bids Hensel Phelps came up with. On other projects that we've had here, I never remember that we had that many bids on each individual section and sector. So I think they've done a really good job for us so far. And the fact that they've shaved 1.7 million off of this particular part also gives me really hope that we can come in with a project that will be more in line, still over, but more in line with what we initially thought that we would be spending. About 90% of this, 91% of this project comes from federal dollars. None of this is local money, which also I think is amazing when you think of how many jobs that are being provided. We all pay our taxes and the money goes there, but we're getting back a good percentage of it, maybe better than we thought. And it's also the other part of that, I just want to say, is paid for by our passengers. We collect $4.50 on every ticket that flies out of here, $4.50. So when you choose to fly Monterey, you are actually contributing to these construction projects because that's where that money goes. It's not in operating income. So I just want to just kind of give you an idea of how we operate, how we get our money, and how we pair up with federal dollars. But staff has done a remarkable job on this, and I really want to thank Chris and Mark and Whitney and the team for everything you've done, because I know it's a lot of hours. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Chair Miller, if I could, I just want to correct one thing. I misspoke. The amount I gave you the amount from GMP 1. It's the amount for GMP 2, which is $38,132,589.
Yeah.
So that's the number that you're looking at for GMP 2. Sorry about that.
No problem. Director Amati.
Thank you, Chair. And I want to just echo a lot of the comments shared. I know it's almost 9 o'clock. There's probably a lot of you who could be on a job site at this time right now. So thank you so much for taking the time to come in and provide comment. I'm also really happy that the board selected Hensel Phelps as the GMAC on this project, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to work with them. I did have just a couple of quick questions for staff. The first is, what was the due diligence done by Hensel Phelps for the bidders to ensure responsible bidders?
As I said, they did the pre-qualifications. They had a pre-qualification meeting that was posted. They explained all of the requirements in the bid specs, the bid documents. Then they had a second meeting where those that were bidding were able to, they walked them through all of the plans and specifications. They also were provided the opportunity to ask questions, and those questions were all responded to by Hensel Phelps and or through HOK with some clarifications to the bidders. So it was a very detailed, a lot of opportunity for questions to be asked so that the teams knew exactly what they were bidding on. Once that was done, Hensel Phelps took the time to review everything in detail and validate all the numbers that are provided by every one of the bidders and ensure that there were no miscalculations on any of the components. So based on all of that, they also make sure that their DBE requirements can be met and that the DBEs are registered within the state system. So they go through a very detailed component analysis of each one of the bidders before, during, and after. So it's 3 different times that they're looked at in complete detail to make sure that the numbers and the bids are accurate.
Right, thank you. And I think this question is maybe more for Mark. How would the timeline for the plan of finance be impacted were the board to not pass this amendment today? I know that really all of the pieces are working in conjunction, and securing all of the different loans that we need to for the plan of finance, this is a number that we need, correct?
Absolutely. In our discussion with, for example, the TIFIA loan program, which we're pursuing, price certainty is a prerequisite to be able to move forward successfully on that element of the financing. So this is a critical step in establishing price certainty for the project.
Thank you. I did just have a couple other quick questions. So in terms of that 1.75 million less, were there any value engineering options or alternatives that resulted in that reduced cost?
No, that was based on the bid specs. So
Okay.
they are now working on and looking at value engineering after this. So what we will be doing, and you'll see on the cost model that you have in front of you on Exhibit A, there will be 2 additional GMPs that are coming your way, that will come our way. Actually, the third one has closed and they're evaluating those. And at the moment, we know they're either at or under budget as well. So good news. But then they will also, as they're procuring and getting the contractors, once this is awarded and we're ready to tell the Hensel Phelps they can move forward with these bidders, we're moving into the value engineering phase. So we've done that with GMP 1 and we'll do that with GMP 2. And on the electrical alone, we believe there's about $446,000 worth of value engineering savings that we can take advantage of. And
Perfect.
that's just on the electrical from that bidder. And we'll be doing the same with all of the bidders here. So what we'll do in the back end is that last GMP will not only be your 4th and final GMP, it will also be a reset of the ones you've had before. So we will see some deductions on the last GMP as well, based on the fact of the value engineering that will be employed in the next month or 2.
Okay, perfect.
There will be more to come, more savings to come.
I love the idea of more savings to come. And then my last question was just which scopes of work have not yet been bid? What is going to be included in GMP 3 and
Again, if you
GMP
go
4?
to that cost model Exhibit A, you can see the 1 and 3 is the elevators, automated exit doors, fire protection, roofing, miscellaneous metals, and drywall and framing. So that will be what's in the next one. And that's the one that I just said has closed for bids, and they're validating them at this time, but they look like they're either at or below budget. And then the final are items 5.3 all the way down to the bottom of 6.9. So those will be the last ones, which are doors, frames, hardware, acoustical ceilings and panels, tiling, flooring, terrazzo, universal passenger processing, which is our common use software platform that we'll be using with the airlines, window shades, paint and wall coverings, joint sealant, signage, building specialties and appliances, pavement markings, equipment, fencing, and the final cleanup. So those are what will be in that last and final bid that will be coming out by November. So we will have all of this wrapped up and ready by November, again, with the balancing change order that will show all the deductions that we'll be able to take from value engineering.
So we're looking at an additional 21 or so if it's 11.5 for GMP 3 and 9.5 for GMP 4.
That is correct. Well, with, and if you go down to the bottom with the fees as well. So
Sure.
22 with the fee.
Okay, but we're hoping that that comes down.
Correct.
Sounds good. I don't have any other questions.
Okay. And I echo everything that's been said. I appreciate the efforts of staff. I appreciate the members of the public, especially those of you that are in the trades and will be working on this project. During my 18 years on the board here, I always hope that whenever we do a building assignment, that it benefits our local tradespeople. So I understand that out-of-town companies bid. Hopefully, they're going to use local people to do the work. Okay.
Mr. Chair, I would move that we adopt resolution number 1911.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, first by Director Leffel, second by Director Tatiani. Can we have a roll call, please?
Director Marty,
Aye.
Director Gagliardi,
Aye.
Director Pick,
Yes.
Director Leffel,
Yes.
Chair Miller.
Yes. Okay, thank you, staff, for bringing that towards us. Let's go with Resolution 1912, item number 3.
Yes, I'm going to ask Whitney to take this one for us.
All right. Good morning, directors. I'm going to
Good
be talking
morning.
to you about resolution number 1912, a resolution of the Monterey Peninsula Airport District to establish an updated air carrier incentive program. So a little historic background here. In June, we met and we kind of daylighted the fact that we wanted to update our air carrier incentive program. It looks like the district had one in 2016, which sunsetted in about 2018. FAA has also established new guidelines on these policies in 2023. So after discussing with you, the board, as well as the Air Carrier Service Marketing Community Relations Committee members, we have put together a simple program for you. If you look at the resolution, you can see the service type offerings that we're looking to allow incentives on. There are 4 service types, varying levels. And ultimately, what I want to share with the board is the purpose and the intent of this program is to stimulate new service. It'll help to reduce airline risk if they're thinking about dabbling in our market. It's going to grow connectivity for our community. It'll also have some economic development impacts as well as position us competitively to get better service. With that, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Okay.
Add that it is really just really the only tool that we have
Right.
for incentives as a special district airport. So this is really the one tool that we can use to help, as Whitney said, incentivize or discuss and provide to the airlines as they're looking at either adding, it's not just new, it'll be frequency, adding a third Denver flight, for example, or a second Seattle flight, or things like that. So which really help that connectivity and the use of those existing flights by having more options if one is canceled or doesn't get in. And so you have other options, and it really incentivizes, this would help with our discussions with the airlines. So.
Okay, thank you. Let me go ahead and open it up for public comment at this time. Any member of the public who's in the audience that wish to address the board on this topic, you'll have 3 minutes. Please raise your hand. Okay, I see none. Any member of the public who's joining us remotely? If you wish to address us, please raise your hand. I do see one.
And Mr. Chair, that is Sarah Hunter.
Sarah,
Hi.
go ahead.
Good morning. So, to me, it seems counterintuitive that the Monterey Airport District wants to add flights and attract more flights or more airlines to Monterey Airport while dismantling completely noise guidelines. If you're going to do one in order to protect the public and the residents and the community, not just the visitor industry, of which I also worked in for 25 years here. And I get it, that there's a relationship between the hoteliers and the restaurants and the airlines. But please don't tell me that what you're doing in the same meeting is trying to get more flights when Nancy Runyon already talked about flying and trying to land with tailwinds, how dangerous our airport is, how many flight delays and go arounds and missed landings there are, that you want to attract more flights whilst you got all the noise ordinances. Thank you.
Thank you. Any member of the public remotely wishing to address us, raise your hand.
Mr. Chair, I see no hands.
Okay, I'll close public comment at this time. Board,
Hang on 1 second.
okay, bring us back here.
Okay.
Okay. Board comment and discussion. We'll start down with Director Amati on this end.
Thank you, Chair. First, I just wanted to share that, our previous executive director, Lapierre, had directed the board when he was leaving that there are going to be significant costs that we incur as a part of this new terminal expansion, and that we should do everything that we can in order to support staff in finding increased revenue for the airport to support the costs for that terminal. I believe that this program is in line with that and us trying to support you all in generating new service and generating new flights so that we are able to carry some additional load from the cost of the new terminal project. I did have a couple of questions, though, about the program specifically. Obviously, the waiving of the landing, apron, gate, and RON fees, that is a significant amount of the money that we generate from flights arriving. But if you could speak to some of the ways in which we would still be able to financially benefit from increased traffic.
Sure, and Mark can, but I would say, we're not waiving fuel flowage fees. That is one that still will be charged to the airlines. And just the increase in passengers, they are using our facility, whether it's renting cars, using Ubers, Lyfts, eating at the restaurant, or our local passengers leaving, parking here, again, coming by whatever mode of transportation they use, and grabbing a bite to eat or something at the gift shop. So we still get a benefit from the additional passengers that will help with our revenue.
And we believe that that additional revenue will offset the additional expenses to having those in terms of increased utility costs, as an example, for more people utilizing the restrooms and.
Yes, I would just agree with what Chris said. There clearly is a multiplier effect, and I think you've actually looked at that. So there's a multiplier effect as based on volume of people coming through the airport and all the ancillary revenue sources that we get, either concession fee on or direct charge through the rates and charge mechanism. So yes, so I would say in all cases, increased traffic, increase employment, increase passengers, benefits the airport on a net basis.
Thank you. Just a couple other questions. So I was doing a little digging just for myself, and our runway is 7,175 feet. We can have A319s and 737-800s are able to land at our runway. The A319 has a nautical mile range of 3,700 miles, and the 737-800 has a range of 3,113 nautical miles, according to a quick Google search, which gets us in range of JFK and LaGuardia, right? That's 2,146 nautical miles. Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta is 1,835 nautical miles. I have to travel to the East Coast a lot for work. Those are some of the major hubs that it would be great to be able to fly to. I noticed on our targeted service priorities, we've got Chicago, O'Hare, Portland, Palm Springs, Salt Lake City. Is it possible to expand those targeted service priorities to include some of those East Coast hubs that would be really great for travel?
Absolutely, we could. And in our discussions with airlines, these are kind of like the things that we've been talking long term. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? So we've established these relationships with these network planners, and these are the things that we generally talk about. But we can easily add other items to the list.
And and I would say to Whitney's response, these are the ones that currently the airlines have peak interest on. does not mean that we will stop here. We know what where our passengers are coming from. We know our top markets, and we will continue to have those discussions for additional or further or what makes sense to them. So this is just a short list of the ones we know today have interest to the airlines, but it's not a comprehensive list.
So let me ask the question a different way. For us to add those targeted service priorities, is that something where we would have to come back and amend this program
No.
as an action of the board?
Not- So this is, again, just the conversations we've had. This program is open to any new routes or increase in route service as defined in the resolution. So an additional flight a day to a location or a sizable upgauge in service. So if that Denver flight went from the Embraer 175 that we have with the 76-seater to something larger, it would possibly also fit into this. So if it's just like they did with Dallas, they changed the aircraft type, then they, again, to make the service reliable and to provide the opportunity for that airline to grow that service over time, we would provide that opportunity too. So no, it is not specific to those. And we will continue in air service and in the air service and marketing committee to look at our top routes and look where our passengers are coming from based on the data that we are able to gather.
Yeah. Fantastic. I would love to see those airports added as priority destinations. That's all I have, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Director Leffel.
Thank you. I mean, basically, this is a way for us to give you more tools as you're discussing with the airlines without having to come back to us and ask. So it eliminates some, if there's a time frame where you've got someone who is interested, it gives you the opportunity. I think along with what Jonathan's asking, also because he needs to go to the East Coast. I think there is also the issue that I've heard in the past that the airlines don't like to fly over some of their other hubs. If you just want to address that, because I think that is one of the things that happens when you go to talk to them.
Yeah, so there's a couple things there. So there is also, Director Amati, you mentioned the nautical range of these aircraft. Not sure that that includes when they're loaded with passengers, when they're loaded with cargo. So they can't really go as far when they have all the accoutrements, so to speak, on them. And additionally, what Director Leffel is saying is they don't like to overfly a hub of operation. And to make it more clear, specifically to your Atlanta example, Salt Lake City is a Delta hub. So if we get to Salt Lake City, then we can get you direct to Atlanta. And it's easier for those airlines to rally crew, rally maintenance supplies when they go direct to these bases, especially if they're using aircraft that are typical size that you see outside here on our ramp.
I think it's great for them. I think I hate having to have a
Have to
connection somewhere else. So, you know, as a passenger and speaking for residents in the area, connections suck. It's just the worst. You don't know if your flight is delayed out of here, then now you're racing to try to catch it. So I understand why they would want it, but as someone speaking for residents, I would much rather have direct flights to the East Coast.
We will advocate.
Thank you.
We will advocate.
I did have a question, and Chris, it came up with what you said. So, for instance, we had 2 flights a day to Dallas. We got a larger plane. Now we have 1 flight a day. We saw the consequence of that on Sunday when the crew did not evidently call in to get in line in time, and then they timed out because we had so much traffic. So it was a crew timeout based on the federal guidelines of how many hours they're flying and working. So there was no other Dallas flight to put them on, and people were bumped to the next day, which created a big kerfuffle in the community. But it was really Americans' issue. It was not our issue, and it wasn't a tower issue. So I don't think I'm too excited to give anybody something to bring a larger plane if they are sacrificing the second flight of the day to do that, because we actually lost seats. We lost 50 seats a day, and we lost the flexibility of moving people to a later flight if there was room on it. So
So we have, this is 50% increase in seat capacity, so they cannot add a larger and take away another and have less. So it has to be 50% of an increase in their overall seat capacity to that destination
per day,
per day. Mhm.
just say per
Or
day.
per whenever they're traveling. So if they don't travel currently per day and they travel 4 times a week, so it would have to be that increase for the service that they currently have. On a week, we said on a weekly basis.
Does that cover us enough? I mean, that's, we're suffering from that flight, and it, you know, it was sold to us like, oh, it's the best thing. And then when we got the real truth, it wasn't exactly the best thing for our community. So I do not want to reward what I think is kind of bad behavior for our community. Good for the airline, but not for us.
So again, we put it as on a weekly basis, and this is in line with what we see at other airports our size as well. So we've done our analysis and looked at what other airports similar to us are doing. And this is similar in line. And we worked with our air carrier consultant as well to make sure that this is appropriate. So we believe that this covers us.
Okay, well, I like that. I mean, I think it's only fair that we set policy that gives you enough tools to do your job to serve the community. So,
And Director, I would say in that incident that you're talking about, they wouldn't get the incentive program then. So that would be off the table for them.
that's what I was saying.
Correct.
I would have really been really irritated if we had given them an incentive on top of it, and then we've got a mess on our hands. So
They would not have qualified for the incentive. And as you can see, we have an application in it. They have to let us know that they want to do it, and it has to be reviewed. So it's not an automatic given that they will get it. We have to make sure that we're doing the analysis of what we've set in place.
okay. And also, I think it's important the staff understand, because as I said, when it was first told to us, it was like, oh my God, we're getting all of this, and we were excited. And then when we asked the question and did a little math, it wasn't that good of a benefit to any of us. So anyway, okay, I'm good with it.
Okay, thank you. Director Gaglione.
No, I don't have any question. We talked about this.
We did. We
Yeah.
did a lot of review. Okay, Director Pick.
No, the question I was going to ask was, you've touched on it. We've looked at other airport best practices in this regard, and this is in line?
Yes.
Perfect. No, that's great. Thank you. Nodding vigorously. Love it. That's it, Chair.
Okay, I just have a few things to add. We had a member of the public express the concerns that we're adding additional service. Like I said, I've been on the board for 18 years. All during that time, we've had a program like this, except for, I guess, we let it lapse there for whatever reason. But it is pretty standard in the industry. This has to be approved by FAA, doesn't it?
No, we need to, it does not. If it's there, they do not approve these.
Okay.
We will, so the next step for this is if approved by the board, we will send it to our airline so they're aware of it. And it will take effect at 30 days after the approval. And that's in the resolution, it's in the staff report. The only thing we have to do is let the airlines know that this is an option.
Okay.
So that is our requirement.
And again, with air service, you know, during the 70s and 80s, we had about 500,000 employments. So we're somewhere around 300,000 right now. So there is still additional room for us to grow without nearly coming to our historic numbers that we had 40, 50 years ago. Also, Director Amati, It's not like we can add a city saying Atlanta, we have to go on research, where the passengers are coming from and where they're going to. So those cities that you see mentioned in this are ones that have um, statistical, data to back it up. So, okay, I'm in favor of us moving forward with this.
I would move that we approve resolution number 1912, a resolution of the MPAD to establish an updated air carrier incentive program.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and second. Can we have a roll call?
Director Marty,
Aye.
Director Gagliardi,
Aye.
Director Pick,
Yes.
Director Leffel.
Yes.
Chair Miller.
Yes. Okay, passes unanimously.
Can we take 5?
We certainly can. It is 9:10. We will come back at 9:20 a.m.
Oh,
I gave you an extra. Okay, we are back in open session at 9:20, just like we said we'd be. Item number 4, Resolution 1913. Chris?
Absolutely. So during our budget approval process this year, we talked about the thresholds for signatory for contract services and construction projects. So in looking at that and in analyzing that, there were a number of policies that it was threaded through. It wasn't just in one. So we've taken all of our financial policies, which you can see are listed under the staff report. We had a resolution 1424, which established fiscal control policies and procedures from 2007. We had resolution 1714, an amended purchasing and purchase order policy from 2018. Also from 2018, we had resolution 1720, an amended investment policy. August of 2018, again, 1721, an amended district finance and accounting policy. And finally, in December of 2022, the board approved implementation of an employee travel and business expense policy and a director business expense policy. So it was, the policies included controls and financial procedures that are effective, but they were distributed in multiple policy documents that sometimes were overlapping and or conflicting with direction. So what we've done, and we've brought this to the Finance Committee 2 times. We brought it first with all the policies, and if anyone wants to see them, they are all here and separate. But we brought it with those policies in a draft form, a one policy manual. So it makes it easier, especially when any staff are looking at what are our policies. We don't have to go hunting down 5 different location policies and procedures. So we've incorporated them all into one document. So what was in all of those has been retained, but also has been consolidated, so it's not duplicative or conflicting. We have, as we discussed in the finance during the budget process, increased the authorized expenditure for professional services from 30,000 to 60,000. We've increased the authorized expenditure for capital expenses for small projects from 30,000 to 75,000. And this will be in line with AB 2192, which took effect on January 1st of 2025. That increased the bidding threshold for public agencies that have opted into the California Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting Act, which we have. And that act and that adoption has been retained in this policy in the back as an appendices. And the bill, authorized that public projects of $75,000 or less to be performed either by the employees of public agency or by a negotiated contract of purchase order. So by allowing those $75,000 or less projects to just be authorized, it will be with us just doing purchase orders rather than having to do the bid, which is in line with the public Accounting Act, but also gives us that ability to move projects forward a little bit more expeditiously, as we discussed again in budget. We added a section, in addition, we added 2 sections to the policy that didn't exist before. We added a district credit card use policy on page 6, and we added a policy section on capitalization of assets on page 16. And this is in response to requests by our auditors.
Yeah, that's good.
So again, Finance Committee reviewed the draft on July 14th, took it back under advisement. They gave us some suggested changes to some of the language here and there, and they had the final draft at the August 11th meeting for their final review. So district councils reviewed it for statutory compliance with and clarity, and so we would ask that you consider adopting this policy and rescinding the ones that I discussed in the first 5 bullets of your staff report. And those are also in the resolution, that we will rescind those resolutions and have one policy manual, which makes it much easier, I believe, for staff to understand what is our financial policy, how do we do business. So happy staff will answer any questions, but we've all looked at it, worked on it together, and collaboratively, this is what we've come up with.
And this resolution not only eliminates the other prior resolutions, but also approves the new financial policy.
That is correct.
And I would just add to Chris's point. So for example, in this year's audit, one of the things that the auditors do is they say, well, give us your policy on this, give us your policy on that. And I'm literally giving them 5 or 6 or 7 different documents. So a codification of all those, which this does, certainly will be something the auditors will receive well. They did ask specifically about the capitalization policy, which is expressed in the financial report itself, but not in any particular policy. So this, again, is something that will be in line with kind of what they want to see in terms of their work on policy. So I very much support this, and I think the auditors will be happy to get one document instead of 6 or 7.
Okay, very good.
And board members, just as a highlight for you, this policy change, if approved, will trigger some changes to the governance manual, which I'll bring back at the next meeting to update it to incorporate this new policy.
Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and open public comment at this time. Any member of the public want to address this item? You have 3 minutes to do so. Any member of the public wish to talk on this? No?
No.
How
yeah,
about any member who is with us remotely? If you wish to comment, please raise your virtual hand.
And Mr. Chair, I see no hands.
Okay, let's close public comment. We'll take it back to board comment. We'll start down here with Director Amati.
Thank you, Chair. First, I just want to say this is a gargantuan effort to go through all of those policies and make sure that this document encompasses everything that was in there before. And so thank you for doing that work and that effort. We have reviewed this for a couple months in finance. So the only thing that I have, it gave me almost PTSD when I saw the expense reporting forms, the Excel documents. And for the sake of staff, I would recommend that you look into an electronic method to file, well, there's apps and things where you can file your expenses and not have to go through the process of going through Excel and creating that and then attaching all your receipts. I've had to do that. It's horrible. And there are a lot of really great tools to make expense reporting much friendlier for you all, and sometimes for us when we have to do it as well. So that would be my only recommendation, is that we look into Smart Receipts or a similar type app for filing expenses. And that's the only comment that I have.
Okay. Director Leffel.
Yeah, we've been through this, and I made a few comments, and there are some changes incorporated in. I just have one question, and I think this came out of our last finance meeting. on the approval of payment where the executive director, and believe me, we have to do this. Their expenses have to be approved by the current chair of the board. But because of the time limit, do we need to put in there or chair pro tem? Because I just worry if we've got a 72-hour and the chair of the board is in Paris floating down the river, we may, then that would necessitate that whoever needs their reimbursement doesn't get it for maybe 2 or 3 weeks if
Well,
someone is traveling.
It's typically reimbursement that's on the district credit card. And so they're approving that. And then the credit, we have 30 days to pay that card. So it's part of the package that they're reviewing, or purchase orders. Like I know Director Miller, you had one in the last, when you were here last week, and we had one in front of you. So I think that it works, or we could put or designee, you know, or whoever's signing the check, you know, what we do is we're putting it into the folder with the section, with the check signing for that month.
No, and I get that, but I just, because we are stating one person only in here, one position only, then there's not much flexibility if somebody is, whoever is supposed to sign. Let's say they went to the hospital for 40 days. I don't know. I'm just trying to it would stop what goes on, right?
Knocking on wood.
So, and I thought when we chatted about it, that we said it would be chair or chair pro tem or designated board member or whatever.
We can add that to that section.
It
And
just-
you know, the chair.
I don't want to hold up an employee's expense reimbursement because we've only got one person. That's all.
We'll keep that in mind. Whoever makes the motion, will make that modification.
And other than that, I've been through this multiple times, reading it and rereading it and chatting with staff, and we covered it in the finance committee meeting. So I'm good with it. I think we covered everything. And it was really, I remember when Mike came, we gave an increase to 30,000, but that was 9 years ago, and we never went back and really looked at it to look at today's dollars and what can you get for 30,000. So taking it to 60 and 75 is most appropriate.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, very good. Director Gradioli.
The only question was, I know auditors are going to see this, but did they get to look at it before? Have they looked at it at all? Our auditors?
Not looked at them. I told them that we were working on this, but I
Okay.
gave them what we had in hand.
Okay.
But typically, they wouldn't have input on this. They would just want to know what our policies are.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, very good. Director Pick.
No questions. I appreciate the update.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, this is quite the effort. I applaud staff and the finance committee for going through this. When we raise it to 60 and 75,000, is that only you that have that authority, or do other members of staff, can they sign off on those?
We have and you'll see it's attachment B on your, a fiscal management purchasing or authority parameters. So staff together, the senior staff look at what our needs are and provide authority thresholds for all the staff here.
Okay.
So, and again, this would be, you know, you'll see this in the budget, you know, our things are detailed, and, you know, this will not be, at least the way we anticipate it is, it'll be in line with what you see in the budget. And where, you know, when we go through the budget, we go through it in detail and what we're expending, you know, where we're expending things. So I think to answer, it would be for very select staff, senior management.
Very good. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I would move that we approve resolution number 1913, resolution adopting the Monterey Peninsula Airport District Finance Policy Manual.
Seconded.
Wait, so there's going to be a modification, no?
With the addition of
Board designated.
board designee.
Okay. You
Seconded
okay with
with
that?
that,
second?
yes.
Okay. Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Second was me.
Thank you. Director Amati,
Aye.
Director Gagliardi,
Aye.
Director Pick,
Yes.
Director Leffel,
Yes.
Chair Miller.
Yes. Okay, very good. Board reports and acceptance of department reports. Does anybody have any question about the staff reports that are located in our agenda?
Chair, you'll be surprised to know that I have just a couple questions.
I'm always pleasantly surprised. Go ahead.
Just in the ratings that we reviewed, there was the one comment about the power outlets, and in the future design for the new terminal, are the power outlets integrated into the furniture? Because I've seen that at other locations.
Yes, they are.
Okay, fantastic. And then I think Marianne will be excited to see that there were comments about the water filter and the lights not on in the water filter. And we've moved to reviewing those more frequently now, but
Change on a monthly basis.
and the light that shows whether it's green or yellow or red, that's not something we can fix?
I mean, we'll have to look into it.
Okay. In the finance report, I was really pleased to see that we had 84% passenger load factor, and I'm sure the airlines were really excited about that as well. I did have a quick question on the Monterey Fires report. They had two incidents where they reported the incident type was aircraft standby. Is that where there's like a medical incident on an aircraft that's coming, and so they're on standby for when that aircraft arrives? What is that?
It could be multiple things. It's typically an alert to where they're waiting to find out what the issue is. Well, let me walk that back. They know what the issue is. It could be there's a strange indicator light in the cockpit and they want to make sure that they land safely. So they're just on the ready outside of the bay in the event that there's an incident.
Got it.
Standby.
Okay, sounds good. Chris, in your executive director operations report, the flight decrease compared to August 2024, a decrease of 10%. Is that, do you think, an aberration, or is that potentially a concerning trend?
Sun Country. Remembering last year we started Sun Country, so we do not have them this year. So that is one of the one with the seat capacity.
And 50 seats at American.
And the American Dallas, correct.
Got it. Let's see. I didn't have any questions on the noise complaints or taxi. I think, Chair, that was it. There were some fun ones in the police report as well. I did just want to, I know that staff is really focused right now on getting through the Hensel Phelps packages. And I was just curious as to at what point do you feel like you would have capacity or it would be appropriate to start talking about what the operations plan is for the switchover and the work that you all will do to ensure that that will be safe. In the work that I do, we typically will plan out starting kind of 2 years in advance of something like that, or in some cases, 1.5 years. So just wanted, I know that you have a lot on your plate, but wanted to see when you felt like that would be an appropriate time to present something like that.
Started those discussions, with our partners. So we've started them with the airlines. We've having them with the rental cars, and we're having them with TSA. So those are ongoing and have been ongoing even through the design process. So it's something we're working through once we understand, so we know what currently what the passenger boarding bridges will be or who the manufacturers of those, because that's been procured. But once we get through like the common use platform and some of the other components that will be very specific to how we'll do business, then we can have those discussions, but we haven't procured those components yet. So those are coming.
Okay, perfect.
But again, it really is an ongoing discussion that we're having.
All right, sounds good. Chair, I have no other questions. Thank you.
Okay. So does anybody have any questions about, anybody else about finance, air service? We didn't have a lease meeting.
Wait, I had a question about one of the reports in here.
Okay.
I saw that in, I think it was the police, that there was a tripping hazard with the carpet. Was that a square that we needed to replace? And do we have any of those squares left? How are we doing this now?
That's correct. I believe it was a rug. What we did, we taped it down. Went out of circulation and placed it down.
I think it was, wasn't it one in front of the door?
Yes.
Yes. So it was in front, it was the one on the outside in front of the door, those ones that it just curled on the edge, probably from the heat, the sun or something like that, in front of ticketing.
Okay, I saw that and I thought, okay. And that, so it brought up a question. I mean, this carpeting is aged. Do we have enough squares to make it till we get the new terminal?
So yes, and we have a pretty robust program in inspecting. In fact, we will be doing a replacement of a couple squares in the baggage claim area soon. We've already ordered additional.
Yeah, especially the walk-off ones, the ones that are right in front of the door. But those have never been replaced in the whole time, so they've really held up extremely well. But those are the ones that that are wearing right now.
Okay, good. It triggered in my mind. And I know these get less use in here. I was thinking, well, if all else failed, could we pull them up and then just put another kind of covering on this floor if we
We
had
actually
to?
don't have these anywhere in the terminal anymore.
They're all blue.
There's none of them?
No,
No, okay,
no.
good.
Okay.
Okay, that was my question, sorry.
No problem. So if we have no other question about the staff reports, what about the standing committees?
Did you
for-
open it to the public?
No, but I will, any member of the public, either remotely or present, wish to address public comment, raise your hand. And we do have a hand.
Again, Mr. Chair, it's Sarah Hunter.
Sarah, go
Hi,
ahead.
good morning. I have a comment, Miss Chris. If you could please put your microphone to your left because we can't hear you very well because you're turning to the left to address the board, maybe in the future. My question is, there was a huge increase in June and July of noise reports. And so I just want the members to please go look at the noise reports. And I had to actually email Denise because they used to be in the minutes in the first few pages, the monthly noise reports, and they're buried on page 125 and 133 now. And as far as that goes, I have another question, but it's not related to, maybe it's related to one of the committees. Over 50% of airport towers are non-FAA controlled. Is our airport FAA employees?
Yes.
All right. And I just wanted to correct a statement. My concern wasn't that there's going to be increased air traffic. It was the irony of increased air traffic without implementing a robust noise policy along with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to comment? Okay, I don't see any. Okay, close public comment. Any questions for finance or air service from members of the board? Okay, let's move on to Personnel Committee. We'll talk about that in closed session. Local jurisdiction, do you have any meetings or anything?
We do not, but I will talk to Director Pick because we have a request for one.
Okay, very good. Let's go on to liaison report. Local Agency Formation Commission, Director Leffel.
The staff takes July as a vacation, and so there was no meeting. And August is actually being, there's nothing coming before LAFCO, so there will be no August meeting either.
Okay, very good. Regional taxi, you had a meeting last month that I attended. You had nothing this month, right?
No, it's an annual meeting.
Yeah, it's an annual
Thank you
meeting.
for getting that.
Transportation Agency, we did not have a meeting last month. Special Districts, Director Leffel,
Yeah, no meeting until October.
October it is. And then AMBAG, Director Leffel.
I went to the Motorlux instead of AMBAG. So I'm going to sit down with one of the staff members on, what day is this? Tomorrow. And she's going to fill me in on anything that is pertinent to us, and I will report next month.
Okay. And we had no conferences in the intervening time, so no reports there. Okay. I think we're ready for closed session. Okay, it is 11:25 on the 20th of August. We are back in open session and we have nothing to report from closed session. So pending requests for future agenda items. Do we have any from the board?
No.
We do need to firm up what our alternate board meeting date is going to be in December. December 11th. I'm sorry, what are the parameters again, Chris, as far as?
We had offered a number of dates. I think December 11th was one that 4 of you could attend, but there was no, there were, the ones that we provided as options, there was no date that everyone could attend.
So you gave us 10, 11, and 12.
Yeah, we gave you that week, because the following week is when we would start to be transforming this room and getting it ready for military.
Is there anybody that can't make either 10, 11, or 12?
So that's me. I'm in Scotland the 5th
Scotland.
through the 4th.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's gonna
first
be a,
time.
that's gonna be a
Sweet.
tough time to be there though, right? Or like a.
Well,
Yeah, I would cancel that trip.
the
I've been in Scotland in December. It is hell. You don't want to be there.
All you want to do is drink scotch.
That's right. Yeah, it's not going to be good at all.
So I guess what I would say is that if that is the only date that works for the full membership of the board, then it just so happens that the time zone difference over there would be
+9?
9.
8 or 9.
9 or
So I would be able to join probably virtually.
So we could time it.
So if you're doing your 8 a.m., it's, sometime
You're
Dinner.
different.
5 o'clock in the
Dinner.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Right. So I could potentially join virtually
Okay.
if that's the only thing that works out.
We'll watch you sip scotch.
11th, do we want
I'll
to
be
schedule
off
for
campus.
the 11th?
That was the date, I believe Denise set for.
Okay.
Thursday.
So Thursday, the 11th,
Fill you out. Thursday is the day that.
special board meeting to take the place of the 17th meeting.
Okay.
And we doing that because this will be a military lounge. And it's a lounge from when to when?
We haven't firmed up the exact dates, waiting to get a couple dates from the military, but that following week, usually through Christmas is typically when we keep it open.
And through New Year's, don't we usually do it till?
No, through Christmas Day.
Through Christmas Day? Okay. Very good.
8 a.m.
Yeah, 8 a.m. That sound good for everybody?
Works.
Okay.
It's your leaving.
Thank you.
The 4th.
Okay, discussion of future agendas. I don't know, do we have anything still pending on,
Not that we've received from the board. We have items that we'll be looking at and bringing forward.
Okay.
Haven't put it all together yet, but
Carl, there
Yep.
was one thing that we had discussed previously was the idea of doing some kind of public town hall event now that we've got a lot more information on what's happening with the new terminal and subcontractors and who all's going to be doing the work. I think it would be valuable for us to try to find a way to host a town hall for the public to just make them aware of
Yeah.
what's happening with the new terminal.
We've
About the-
talked about that and also maybe addressing noise concerns too.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
So we won't have all of the details on financing and things until November-ish. Would we want to wait until we have that? Because at that point, we'll be getting ready to do our master resolution, our Barclays purchase, our installment agreement, once we have all of our numbers together.
And December and November, end of November, December is always a tough time to have meetings that's going to get a meaningful,
Public.
Something we want to do in January? Something we want to do after the new year?
So I think we've been putting it off for a long time, and I would like to do it and get a date in October that we can just go with it and get it done.
Okay.
Because I think we need to do it. And I think we will have decided what we're going to do with these resolutions, and we'll know what we're doing. I don't think people care as much about our finance as they care about what's going on in the sky above them.
I do think they care about the terminal
I think
for
they,
sure.
I think they care about the terminal look.
But
Honestly,
they don't know what TIFIA is and.
no, I would agree that maybe the nuts and bolts of the financing will only be of concern to like a select few. But if we have an update on construction timeline, any kind of updated renderings, I mean, yeah, pictures.
Yeah. All of that.
Traffic,
I'm good with.
traffic
I'm
flow.
just- We don't need to get through the audit and all of that. And if we go to January, something else will happen and we'll keep pushing it off. So
All right.
I just think we
Okay.
need to bite the bullet, go with October.
Good.
Do we have an
October-
agenda for that meeting? Do we know what we're gonna?
no, we haven't, we just in broad concepts. We haven't sat down and done anything here with that.
Want to let staff?
But that seems to clearly be the direction of the board. We want to do something. Is
Maybe as-
October when we want to try to do this? I'm thinking towards the end of October, but we do have an ACI conference the 24th through the 29th.
Anytime after the 17th, please.
Okay.
And yeah, I shouldn't say anytime. But
Yeah, I'm good.
Could I get a little more parameter on what you want it to look like?
Well,
Think
that's
that
why I
would
was
be
going to wonder, should we just have this for our board meeting next month to have an agendized item where we discuss the agenda for a town hall and some of the parameters so that we can give staff some direction?
yeah, can certainly do that. That's one way to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to be September, so we're,
So
okay.
the
Go ahead.
we know people are curious about what's going on construction wise, so that has to be part of it. And I think part of it has to be the kind of flights we have, how many seats we have, the marketing kind of stuff that we do. That's all important. If we're talking, we can tell them we still have an air service grant that we're still trying to get somebody to bite on Chicago. Give them some timelines on the new terminal. People ask me that.
All the
Think
time.
of the questions people ask you all
Yeah.
the time.
When's
Those are
terminal
the
gonna be ready?
questions. And
May 20th.
what I found, in my reelection was if you give them that information up front, then no one can they can't sit there and throw pot shots at you because you give it to them. We need to give them the information they're asking.
Agreed.
Can I ask another, just again, so we can start to, we can't wait to September to plan that. We have to be planning now. Here, this room, is it an open house? Is it a time specific for presentations? Again, I want some direction on what you're looking for.
Right.
We can do either, just need to know.
So Chris, you're out in the public, you're giving presentations right now.
Yep.
You know the questions they're asking. You know how they're receiving what you're giving them. If there's more, we haven't seen your presentation. So we don't know. This goes back to always. We don't know what's being said. So we don't know what is there and maybe what we want to add on to.
Yeah.
So
what I would suggest, sorry, what do you got?
I was just going to say that I think that because we're trying to open it up to a broader public audience, that we would maybe find a venue that's a little bit larger than this, and that we would target something that would be in the evening, like a 1.5 hours, something like 5 to 6:30, 5:30 to 7, something around that. I know that there's plenty of spaces that we could probably talk to either City of Monterey or Seaside or local
We're not going
jurisdictions
to
that.
any city. We're going to be non-city.
Okay, but I'm good with, I'm good with a bigger space in the
And-
evening. What I would also, this is great, hopefully good guidance for you. What I would add is I don't think having it be a board meeting is the best way. I would, and I hate to kind of lump this on you, Chris, with everything else going on, but I think if it's something that you sort of, moderate's not the right word, we facilitate.
Facilitate.
Yeah, facilitate. You have a plan, you have an agenda, we have information we want to provide. And then we notice it such that we can all be there and participate without it being a Brown Act violation. But it's not, you know, it's not a meeting run by Carl and kind of all that structure that stuntifies the communication.
I've seen them, done a couple ways, and one is just an open house where people walk around and you give them information. Another is a time certain to provide a presentation, but that does limit that everybody has to be here at the same time.
Right.
So that's
I think,
really.
I think the former is the best, like charrettes, right? Like what you did with years ago at Delray Oaks was, I thought, awesome. You know, you had pictures of stuff and everyone kind of walked in and they would go, what's this? And
Yeah.
So if we have a time presentation on this is where we're at, this is what we're doing, but then have storyboards to show people the pictures, they can look at the things and do that.
That we could then put up here
later.
after the town
Yeah.
hall, we could have that,
Sure.
that same stuff.
they could run
Well,
along that wall.
Just so you know what we are doing at that, we're making like a selfie wall. That's why, one of the reasons we're painting out here is we're going to use the butterfly wings that we had from the
From the event.
event.
Groundbreaking.
And we're going to put up a couple graphics from the terminal, and we're going to make it, put the butterflies and some other stuff and make it a place for when people are coming in to stop and take photos. And eventually do something similar down in the ticketing area when we get further into construction.
Yeah.
Use that TV that's down there and start to put construction photos as they're working through. We're not there yet, but kind of falls into what you're talking about here,
Yeah.
is
I mean,
using those again.
yeah, we could leverage whatever it is we use there up there. Great. That's good.
Chris, is that enough to start working on, or do you need
Yeah,
more?
that's enough to start working on. Yep.
Right.
I mean, I'll be bringing in Aviatrix and some others, to really talk
Yeah.
about it and help put it together. They're the ones
Yeah.
that are helping us with the PR for the projects, et cetera. So we'll start to.
And I agree, it should be in the evening so that we can
Yeah.
have maximum participation with people who work and who like to sleep in late. And, honestly, we could put enough chairs in here to seat 50, 60 people.
At 50, it seems to be our capacity up there.
But you let me know if you want that changed. I can look.
Fight out,
We can make it whatever you want.
fight out. I think it's to our advantage to have it here on our own property. Because also they have that, a lot of people have not ever seen that and they love that. And it allows you to show more where things are.
Yeah.
Um,
And we were gonna have to update that at some point. too.
it's
When everything's
expensive.
done.
Yeah.
It's done.
You know, something we could hold those doors open and make use of the foyer space as well. I mean, it could happen.
Even the hallway.
Good. Yeah. Like next to the elevator, could it be a flowing thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm okay with
I
it.
have some parameters to work from. Is there, you said not, after the 17th, but
No.
before the 24th? Is that what you
Yeah.
said, Director Miller?
Yes.
Well, thank you for taking the time for this discussion.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
are welcome.
Thank you.
So we're basically shooting for the week of the 20th. Is that
Yep.
what I heard? Okay. Beautiful. Great work, team.
And we're leaving on the 24th, I think.
Yes. You have to buy a ticket.
Where are you going?
Toronto.
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 You need a passport.
Yes. And that is posing a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is posing a problem?
Yes.
So, Mr. Chair, one of the things because we want to have a continued meeting to consider that ordinance. Ordinances do have to be done that are non-urgency ordinance. They have to be done at a regular meeting, but we can adjourn this meeting to
September.
was it August 29 at 8:30 a.m.?
I see. So it's a continuation of the same
It-
meeting.
It is, this will be an adjourned regular meeting. We're adjourning to that time. We will post it that it's a continuation, so we don't have to.
Makes sense.
We just put that
Yep.
one item on.
Thanks for keeping us straight.
Continued, and it still makes it legal to, if the board chooses to adopt it, then you adopt it at that time.
Because it's
Okay.
part of this meeting.
Sounds good. I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting until August 29th at 8:30 at this location, where we will
Continue.
continue with item number G as in George 1,
So moved.
That's 8:30
Second.
a.m.
8:30 a.m.
Second.
We have a first by Director Pick and seconded by Director Leffel. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are so, well, we're not adjourned. We are continued, or what is the word?
Adjourn to the.
Adjourned till the 29th. Right. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Carl.